Hey everybody, welcome back. I thought I'd just do a quick overview of my collection of Masters of the WWE Universe figures. Most of these you've seen in some of the other videos if you've watched. Uh, but yeah, I thought it'd be cool to put them all together. I've only got a dozen. There's been countless figures released. Some have been fairly easy to get. Some have ended up in the bargain bins, and some have been really, really hard to get, like the Triple H and the Mr. T figure. Wow, that's a really cool figure that I've always wanted to pick up. But anyway, so these are the ones that I have, and I thought we'd just do a quick run through. We've got our Becky Lynch, and she is decked out like Tila. Now, I thought this one was kind of weird because she's billed as the man, yet they made her the Tila figure. I always thought that if you're going to call her the man, it might have been cooler to give her a more masculine armor. Just I don't know. That's just me. But it's still a cool figure. We're reusing some of the standard Tila parts in the sculpting and everything. For the most part, you're using a lot of Tila pieces on this. But it is a cool figure. The face sculpt is great. I dig the color of the hair. Yeah, interesting. So we'll set her to the side. And then we got Stephanie McMahon. And Stephanie is she's kind of a take on Evil Lynn. She's got that removable mask. Pretty cool head sculpt. It's very much Evil Lynn with the long hair. And then of course this skull mask that ties her in with that Triple H figure that was released. But yeah, and she's got the Evil Lynn staff. Very cool. Now most of this is all new sculpt with the exception of that mid piece. And then you also got the same gauntlets and armbands that the Becky Lynch figure has. But yeah, that's a neat figure as well. Glad to have picked that one up. Alright, so let's see. Ultimate Warrior. This one's interesting because it doesn't really have a clear tie in to any of the Masters of the Universe figures or any of the characters. The only thing I can guess at is that they were going more for the He-Man because of the gray armor on the chest. But everything else, the cape, the bands around the arms, around the ankles, none of that says He-Man. So it's kind of on its own a little bit. It is a nice figure. It's very, very bulky. That cape adds a lot of weight to the figure. But it is a nice sculpt, nice head sculpt. The painting on it is very good. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting figure. Next, we'll look at the Rey Mysterio. Now, at a distance, this is a really cool figure. I really like the coloring. I like the wings, the mask. The only thing I don't like is the jetpack. That thing is impossible to attach. It looks like it would work just fine, but it does not. So I have yet to be able to get that thing to connect properly. But it is a cool figure, and I do like the color on it. It's definitely got all the Stratos vibes to it. But yeah, so that's Rey Mysterio. Another one we've seen before is our Stone Cold Steve Austin as Trapjaw. Now, I did a swap on this. He is actually, well, at the moment it's not a swap, but I like to do a swap with this and put this arm on our mini comic Trapjaw because the color matches. And then the darker arm looks better on the Stone Cold. But anyway, this is a cool figure. You also get an additional attachment with him. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah. So you get the little pincher that comes with it, and you can remove the jaw to see Stone Cold's face. Pretty cool. Now the other bald wrestler from the 90s with the goatee who was popular in another brand, we've got Bill Goldberg as Ram Man. He has a removable helmet as well. And you can see his face. He's got the axe and the shield. Very cool looking figure. Got the tattoos. And I like the way the helmet is made. It just kind of sits into place. So yeah, that's another fun figure. I dig it. Macho Man, Randy Savage, as our man-at-arms. This one makes me laugh just because with the glasses and that face sculpt and the beard, it makes me think of Hank Williams Jr. But he's got the battle armor pieces. You can remove these and swap them out. Very cool. And he's got the mace. And then the little hat comes off, which that also is kind of funny to me, just because it's just barely sitting on his head. But it is a cool figure. Next up, one of the more interesting figures in the entire line is this Faker John Cena. That translucent blue is very cool. I really like the way they made it. I like that they're giving him, standard like chest armor, almost similar to what the let's see. Let's bring it in here. Yeah, I guess that is the same mode as what the Ultimate Warrior figure is using. So I guess that does make sense if you got He-Man and the Faker. But anyway, he's got a spike or mace, and he's got some brass knuckles. He's got the chain with the padlock around his neck. Very neat figure. Yeah, this was actually one of the very first figures that I picked up in this entire line. Him and the next figure we're going to look at will be the first two that I picked up. And that other one would be our Roman Reigns. And he is, he's made up like Fisto. He's got the big fist. Now, one thing I like about this is it is removable. You see all the tats. And it just snaps into place. I wish that our actual standard release Fisto had came with a fist like that. That would have been cool. Now this is the shield version of Roman Reigns, and that's why this armor is like this. This predates the bloodline stuff that's been going on now. Now this isn't removable armor. This is the mode is like that. So his whole torso is a whole new sculpt. And I have to look. I'm not sure if this sculpt was used anywhere else in any other figures. So that's kind of interesting. Next up is our Kane as Roboto, using a lot of the Roboto parts. I did a figure on this pretty recently, or did a video on this figure pretty recently, I should say. I dig this one a lot. This is probably one of my favorites in this line. Just the coloring, and then the little blast piece that goes on is very cool. And then he's got some translucent in his hair. I really like it. Set him off to the side here. And the Beast Among Men, we got Braun Strowman. Now this is from his initial run with the WWE, before he was subsequently let go. And then he got all skinny, and then came back with a shaved head and a slimmer physique and less of a monster. But yeah, this was pretty cool because it's kind of a cross between Beastman, which is obvious by the armor and the shoulder, the upper arm spikes, and of course our Terror Claw Skeletor hands, which is interesting because we got this way before we actually got Terror Claw Skeletor. Look at the ponytail. Yeah, so that's a neat figure too. And then last one we got is our New Day as Manny Faces. Now this particular figure, I've had issues with the head not wanting to stay on, but as you can see, there's Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston. That is a neat concept, and a perfect figure to adapt to the New Day. So yeah, that's just the figures that I have from this line. I really hate that the line has went away. I wish they would have continued on and gave us more variations, because they always seem to sell out quick at Walmart. And then, of course, you look at the eBay listings on them, and the prices continue to go up on most of these figures. At least the ones that are hard to find. You can get the newer version of Randy Savage and that Stone Cold figure and the Becky Lynch figure. Those are pretty common figures anymore. I guess because they're from some of the later lines, but yeah, there's a lot of cool figures out there from this series. If you've picked some up and you've got some favorites, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I think these are great tie-ins with the Motu Origins figures. They're great to display with them. They're great for customizing because there's just so many of them. And the colors and stuff pop. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate you guys sticking around. And I'll be back with more soon. Everybody have a great day. Thanks.